Morning children. Hope all of you have gone through our last recorded class and read the textbook also. In the last class we had learned some new radicals and also how to write formula using these new radicals: bicarbonate, bisulfate, bisulfite, etc. And then we learned the significance of writing the formula, the advantages of using a formula. For example, the example we have taken last class was water, H2O. This is the formula of water. What are the advantages of writing this formula instead of writing water? Because the formula conveys many things to us. First of all, we know that formula represents one molecule. So when you look at the formula, we know in one molecule, we see this formula, we must remember the picture of water, one oxygen and two hydrogen. Formula represents one molecule. So by looking at the formula, we know that there are two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom in one molecule. And we know that it's a compound made of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. So from the formula represents a molecule, and from the formula we know which are the elements with which that compound is made of. And from the formula we know the number of atoms of each element present in one molecule. Two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom. That also we get. Again, if we have the formula, from that we can calculate the molecular weight of that compound. For example, water's formula is H2O. From this very easily we can find out the molecular mass. Molecular mass means mass of one molecule. Because we know that formula represents a molecule. So using that idea, we know that in one molecule there is one oxygen and two hydrogen. One oxygen and two hydrogen. So if we know the masses, atomic mass of all these three atoms, add all these atomic mass together, we will get the mass of one molecule. Okay, that is known as molecular mass. So I told you the atomic mass of all the known elements are known, already found out, determined. So using that table where these atomic mass are mentioned, we can very easily calculate the molecular weight of any compound. There are many compounds, many compounds are there. So no need of by hearting the molecular weight of every compound. Instead of that, if we have the table of atomic masses, very easily we will calculate the molecular mass. Okay. For example, in this case, hydrogen atom's atomic mass is 1. So there are two hydrogen atoms, 1 into 2 equal to 2. Oxygen atom's atomic mass 16. So when you add this together, we will get the molecular mass of water. It is 18. But instead of that, if you write water, we will not get any of these concepts from that word water. When we use formula only, we will get all these ideas from that. Okay. Then, there we have learned that the atomic masses are measured in a unit, AMU. AMU, atomic mass unit. Atomic masses are mentioned in a unit known as AMU. We have various units to measure masses: kilogram, gram, etc., milligram. These are all units to measure masses. But in the case of atoms, molecule, etc., they are too small. Their masses we cannot measure using these grams, kilograms, etc., because we can measure its very small value. Therefore, there is a very smaller unit to measure the masses of atoms, molecules, electron, proton, neutron, etc. All these small particles, masses are measured in the unit AMU. Molecular mass also. In this case, water's mass is 18 AMU. Okay. Then, you have already studied last chapter about mass number. What is mass number? Mass number is the sum of the number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus of an atom of an element. For example, sodium. Atomic number is 11, but mass number is 23. Mass number of sodium is 23. Okay, atomic mass is 22.9. They are almost equal. They are almost equal. This is 23. Mass number is 23. Atomic mass is 22.9. How it is like this? You know that inside the atom, in the nucleus, there are protons and neutrons. Protons and neutrons. Each proton, each neutron has mass 1 AMU. Okay. So in this particular case, in the case of sodium, number of proton proton equal to 11. Number of electron, that also equal to 11. Number of neutron is equal to 23 minus 11. So 12. So if there are 11 proton in the nucleus, each proton's mass is 1 AMU. So what will be the mass of 11 protons? It will be 11 AMU. Inside the nucleus there are neutrons also. 12 neutrons are there. Each neutron's mass is 1 AMU. So 12 neutrons mass will be 12 AMU. And electrons have negligible mass, almost equal to 0 mass. So the mass of electron is almost 0. Each electron's mass is considered as equal to 0. So inside the nucleus we find proton and neutron. Their total mass will be 11 plus 12, 23. 23 AMU will be the mass of the nucleus, because inside the nucleus proton and neutron are found. Mass of the nucleus is 23 AMU. Outside the nucleus electrons are seen. They have 0 mass. So what will be the mass of the atom? Mass of the atom will be equal to 23 AMU. That is why atomic mass and mass number is almost equal. Atomic mass is 22.9 AMU. Okay. Why there is decimal place in the case of atomic mass? It is because we are considering all the isotopes of that particular element. When we calculate the atomic mass by taking the average of all the available isotopes of that particular element. For example, I will tell you chlorine. Chlorine 35 is there, chlorine 37 is there. Okay. So mass number, what are isotopes? Isotopes are atoms of the same element with the same atomic number but different mass number. Mass numbers are different. Okay. Now we are going to calculate their atomic mass. Atomic mass in the table, only one atomic mass will be there. There will not be atomic mass for chlorine 35 and chlorine 37 will not be given separately. Only one atomic mass in the table it will be given. It is because we are taking the average of both the chlorine atoms atomic mass. Average is taken. But it is not simply found out average. 35 plus 37 by 2 will be equal to 36. But the actual atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. Why it is so? We are considering the percentage in which each of the isotopes are present in nature. It is seen that isotope of chlorine is present much more than isotope with a mass number 37. So when we calculate the atomic mass, we will consider the percentage in which they are present in nature. That also is considered. That is why the atomic mass is 35.5, means it's come closer to 35 because it is this isotope present more. If you take a sample of chlorine, in that sample chlorine 35 will be more than chlorine 37, much more than chlorine 37. The percentage of the each isotopes, how much percentage is there in nature, that also will be considered when we are calculating atomic mass. So as chlorine 35 is more, that percentage also is taken. Calculation, how it is calculated, that you study in standard 9. Now we are not bothering about it. But why it is not simply the average. If simply the average, it will be 36. It is not found out like that. The percentage in which each of the isotope is present in the nature, that also is considered in that particular calculation. Therefore, the atomic mass is closer to the chlorine 35. That is why it is 35.5. Okay, not closer to chlorine 37, because this particular isotope is present more in nature than chlorine 37. Okay, so that is why there is decimal places in the atomic masses, because we are considering all the isotopes of each that particular element when you determine the atomic mass of any element. Whatever be the element, its all isotopes will be considered, and the percentage in which each of these isotopes is present, that also will be considered. After that only this calculation is done and atomic mass of various elements are determined. Okay, but for mass number we are not considering all the isotopes. Each isotope has the different mass number. That is the definition of isotope. Isotopes are atoms of the same element with the same atomic number but different mass number. So chlorine 35 means it is an isotope with mass number 35. Chlorine 37 means it is another isotope with mass number 37. That is why they are isotopes. Their mass numbers are different. But atomic mass is taken as one single number. One number. They are not given separately for chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. Okay. So what ma'am was telling is atomic mass and mass number will be almost equal. So in your book, the atomic mass of elements up to 20 is given. But that atomic mass we no need of studying for us. We can study the mass number which was given in the last chapter, because mass number and atomic mass are almost equal. See in your textbook page 61, table 5.8, the atomic mass of first 20 elements are given. And in the previous chapter, page 43 and 44, mass numbers are given. When you compare, you can see when these are almost equal. So just learn the mass number. In our calculation up to standard 10, whenever we need to know mass, atomic mass, we will write the mass number itself, because there is only slight difference. All the decimal places will round to the next nearer value, and it will be equal to mass number then. Okay, except chlorine. Chlorine cannot be converted into whole number. It is 35.5. We cannot convert into 36, or we cannot simply avoid 0.5 and make it 35. So chlorine's mass number and atomic mass are different. Mass number will be 35 and atomic mass will be 35.5. For all other elements, we can study mass number itself as atomic mass. Okay. So in your textbook, you can see page number 61, table 5.8. Suppose hydrogen and helium's atomic mass is given as whole number itself, but lithium 6.9, just write with your pencil near that 7, because 6.9, when you round it off to the nearest value, it will be 7. Then boron 10.8, you can round it off to 11. Then comes neon 20.18, you can round it off it to 20. 20.18 means almost equal to 20. So like that you can round them off. Sodium's 22.99, round it off to 23. Magnesium, round it off to 24. Aluminium 26.98, round it off to 27. Then phosphorus to 31. Then chlorine, we cannot round it off to the 36 or 35. Keep it as 35.5 itself. Then argon, round it off to 40, and potassium, round it off to 39, and calcium 40. So after rounding them off to the nearest value, you compare it with the mass numbers given in the last chapter, as I told, in page number 43 and 44 of your textbook. Mass numbers of the elements up to 20 is given. So when you compare, you can see both are equal except chlorine. Chlorine's atomic mass and mass number is different. Mass number is given as 35, because it is this isotope present more in Earth's surface. Therefore, 35 is written as a mass number, but atomic mass is given as 35.5. For all others, mass number and atomic mass are same. Okay, but there is one basic thing. These two concepts are different. Mass number is the total number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus. Atomic mass is mass of the atom. Okay. The total number of particles in the sodium atom are 23. 11 plus 12. 23 particles are the total number of protons and neutrons together, 23. And each of these particles mass is 1 AMU. So 23 into 1 AMU, you will get 23 AMU. Okay, that is how I found out the mass of the atom from mass number. Mass number is only a number. It is total number of protons and neutrons in nucleus. Total number is 23. From that I try to calculate the total mass of the nucleus. Each particle's mass is 1 AMU. So 23 into 1, 23 AMU we got the total mass of the nucleus. That we found almost equal to the atomic mass of the atom. Okay, mass of the atom is found out using some other methods, not by just calculating the total number of protons and neutrons. I just showed you that these two are almost equal. Reason you know, electrons have no mass. Total mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus, that you have studied in the last chapter. Okay, so that I proved here. The mass number is almost equal to the number. It's almost equal to. But along with the mass number, we will never write AMU, because it is only total number of particles, not mass of the atom. But with the atomic mass, we will write AMU, because it is the mass of the atom. But this number, mass number and atomic mass is number, both are almost equal. It's the reason only I proved here. Okay. And for you to understand that wherever mass number is needed, we can write wherever atomic mass is needed, we can write our mass number itself, because that is what I showed you. When you round them off to the nearest value, all these atomic masses are almost equal to the mass number, except chlorine. So only up to atomic number 20 only we have to learn this mass number, atomic mass, etc. Okay. Now let us see one chemical reaction. Coal burning in air. Carbon dioxide will be formed. When coal burn in air, carbon dioxide will be formed. So I am going to write the reaction. Coal means it is carbon. Carbon burn in air. It is combining with oxygen in the air. Oxygen, and it produces carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Coal burn in air. That particular chemical reaction I have written you in the form of an equation. Carbon combined with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Instead of writing like this, I can use the symbol of carbon. Oxygen form carbon dioxide. This is known as a chemical equation. So what is a chemical equation? Chemical equation is the symbolic representation of a chemical reaction. Which was the chemical reaction here? Coal burning in air to form carbon dioxide. So the chemical equation is the symbolic representation of a chemical reaction using symbols and formulae of various substances involved in the reaction. See here symbol, here formula. In these two cases formula is used. So using symbols and formulae of various substances involved in the reaction. The substances which are used as a starting material and which will react together, they are known as reactants. So here these two are the starting material and these two react with each other. They are known as reactants. And the substances produced after as a result of the chemical reaction is known as products. So these are reactants. These are reactants, these two. And this is product, because this is the result of the reaction, product. Okay. But when we write a chemical equation, we will write the reactants on the left side. If there are 2, 3 or 4 reactants, we will write each one symbol or formula and we will put plus sign in between them. Similarly, products we will write on the right side. On the right side also, if there are more than one product, we will put plus sign and we will write the other products. In between the reactant and product, we will put an arrow. Okay. Another most important thing is, when we write a chemical equation, we should represent each of the reactant and products in their molecular form. Atomic form we should not use, because atoms cannot exist independently. They are not stable. So we should represent molecular form. So you may ask why I have written here symbol. See, oxygen, I didn't write O. I wrote O2 because oxygen atom cannot exist independently. So I write formula. Formula will represent molecule. So this is the molecular form of oxygen. Carbon dioxide, its formula, it's a compound. Its formula is CO2. There is no symbol for carbon dioxide because it's a compound. We cannot represent a compound using a symbol. So this is the formula, and formula represents a molecule. So both of them, these two I have represented in the molecular form itself, because I have written their formula. Formula represents molecule. So I have written both of them in their molecular form itself. But here we may have a doubt why ma'am has used symbol. Symbol represents atom. So I haven't represented it in the molecular form. We may doubt. But we know that in the case of carbon, it is a monoatomic molecule. Means one molecule contains one atom. Means its atoms can exist independently. One molecule contains only one atom. Okay, so this is the molecule of carbon. In another way, you can say it is the molecule of carbon, because it's one molecule containing one atom. It represents one atom, at the same time it represents one molecule. It's one molecule contains one atom. For carbon, its atom and molecule are same. Means its symbol and formula is same. Symbol represents atom, formula represents molecule. For carbon, as it is a monoatomic molecule, for such elements, its formula and symbol will be same. Okay, so in that way we can say that this also I have written in the molecular form. Can be this is actually the molecule of carbon. For carbon, the molecule and atom is same. Why it is so? Because it is a monoatomic molecule. It's one molecule contain only one atom. or we can say carbon's atom can exist independently. That is why it is forming monatomic molecule. One molecule contains only one atom. Okay. Now let us see some other reaction. For example, hydrogen, uh, lead, iron combined with sulfur. We have learned in lower classes. Iron filings and sulfur powder are mixed together and heated, and a grey mass we get. It is known as iron sulfide. So let us write its reaction. Iron plus sulfur gives iron ferrous sulfide or iron sulfide. Iron sulfide. So when we write its formula, it will be iron Fe, sulfur S, iron sulfide FeS. It's a compound represented by the formula. Iron, again monoatomic molecule, so Fe. Sulfur symbol S and ferrous sulfide. Okay, so here this is also another chemical equation. Now suppose we write lead oxide combining with the carbon, PbO plus C, Pb plus CO. This is the equation. Reactants and products are written. Carbon is a monatomic molecule, lead is also a monatomic molecule. Therefore, we can write the symbols. All metals form monatomic molecule. Lead is a metal, iron is a metal, plus carbon. Carbon also forms monatomic molecule. All metals and carbon form monoatomic molecule. So, whenever there is carbon or metal in an equation comes, no need of writing C2 like O2, we no need of writing C2, Pb2, etc. I have seen some children writing like that in the equations in higher classes. That is why I am reminding you again and again, metals and carbon, always they are monoatomic molecule. When we write them in an equation, we can no need of writing C2 or Pb2. They are monoatomic molecule. Okay, don't forget it. Monoatomic molecule, when they come in an equation, no need of writing 2 here. Their one molecule can contain one atom, or we can say their atoms can exist independently. For them, the symbol is enough. All others we will use formula. That is why the equation, chemical equation's definition it is written. A chemical equation is the symbolic representation of a chemical reaction using symbols and formula of the various substances involved in the reaction. For monoatomic molecules, symbols are used. Even though we are using symbol, it is the molecular, we have represented that reactant or product in the molecular form itself. Okay, I have told you why it is, because for carbon its molecule and atom is same. Now in these equations, when you look on the left side, one carbon, here also one carbon, 2 oxygen, here also 2 oxygen. So here now look, here one iron, here also one iron, here one sulfur, here also one sulfur. One lead atom here, here one lead atom on the product side. One oxygen on the reactant side, product side one oxygen. One carbon on the reactant side, here also one carbon on the product side. Means the total number of atoms of each element on the reactant side and product side are same, or they are equal. Such equations are known as balanced equations. Okay, but you see this equation, H2 plus O2 combined together to form H2O. Here 2 hydrogen atom, product side there are 2 hydrogen atom, but here 2 oxygen atom, here there is only 1 oxygen atom. This is not a balanced equation. This is not known as a skeletal equation or unbalanced equation. These two are balanced equation, but this is known as unbalanced equation. Why it is unbalanced equation? Because atoms of all the elements involved in the reaction are not same on both sides. In the case of oxygen, here 2, but here only 1. They are not equal. So today let us conclude the class. In the next class, we will learn how to balance the equation. All the equations should be balanced. So how to balance the equation, why we need to balance the equation, all this we will learn in the next class. Okay. So ma'am, today ma'am has taken page 61 and 62 up to balanced equations. Up to balanced equation. The definitions of balanced equation also ma'am has taken. Read well and attend the next class. Okay.